This is one apartment. It's empty. As you can see, that people moved out. We have another one right next door. This is, I believe, a result of the rent aid being helped. There's no one in this unit here, right in front of it, and there's no one up there. This one, so if you walk here, and this one, as you can see, the carpet is being pulled up. So, just to give you a little insight, it's being worked on. Now, a lot of people in these condos, for those that chose, and if you got unemployment and you didn't pay your rent, well, it is about $3,200 to deal with these almost 4,000, actually about 4,500 to move in these one bedrooms here. Once you apply, then you have your $1,500 security deposit. So you're looking at these two empty, that one over there. Once that thing from the government lifted, you got a lot of people that are out. But if you didn't do the right thing with your unemployment checks, those that worked, man, it is 3 times the amount plus the deposit. So to get in here, you have to probably clear at least about 3,800 and 1,500 for your deposit. You probably be looking at 5,000. Most people don't have that money. That's why they didn't pay the rent, or they chose to spend the money and consume and not pay the rent. And with an eviction, it's really bad. So if you made a mistake, God forgives you. And the oppressor, they're not going to let up, man. They don't care. They need their money. They got to pay the investors have to pay the banks. Of course, the banks got bailed out. We know that. But the banks is going to press for the investors to pay. That's how it goes. This is a capitalist society. This is not love your neighbor as yourself, business first. It's just business. That's the concept. That's our country. That's where we get down. Pay Caesar all his dues. So all of you that are being put out or whatever the case may be, and you go to church, go to your local church and explain to them your situation, that you need help. I don't care about the humility. Let people know that you need help, man. And church, if you know those scriptures, Deuteronomy 14, that was for the poor. Deuteronomy 15, when they're in need and they're in debt and they might need mercy. But I also would say to those, man, don't ever tempt God, because if he gives you money, it is for your necessities. What the country and what you'll get through your media is wants. The Lord is your shepherd, he shall supply your needs. So if you blow the money, you suffer through the consequences. Hopefully you learn through that bad choice and it cleanses you on the inside. You see, like healing. And I would say over the next 10 years, the church try to align yourself to have a storehouse. Deuteronomy 26, Malachi 3, 10, and 11, 2 Corinthians 8, 9. For necessities of saints that were either taken advantage of. Many actually lost their job. I don't know why they wouldn't get unemployment, but those cases, you also had your people that were in between jobs, so they couldn't get unemployment. And you got a lot of people that is still suffering in the housing. We're not all in this together. That was a lot from the pit of hell. We saw that at the price increases at your Walgreens, CVS, and whatever else was open. We saw the hikes. We saw the energy bills. They're back. We did get a little relief for those that are working poor. But at the same time, we also saw the compound interest rates. With your credit card, you better call if you're in debt through credit card, call and ask your banks for a COVID-19 extension. And that is, they'll give you 90 days without the compound interest. And as far as mortgages, people are losing houses. Now, if you didn't get a job quick enough or make the same amount of money, companies, of course, everyone's trying to cut. No one's really going to look out for the neighbor, so trust no one. Trust only the Lord. And in your choices, look for the wisdom of God. And I'll tell you one little story why. The children of Israel every year on the Day of Atonement fasted, and they brought a goat or sheep or whatever it was. The sheep without blemish or whatever it was, the animal that was instructed was brung, and they laid hands, the priest, on the sheep, and he escaped to the woods. It was the sins of the people. What was the sins of ignorance? The things they did not know that had consequences. They didn't know how hot the consequences would be. They wouldn't have known in a presumption sin, I can just do this, and that path had a trap. If it wasn't for them angels, many of us be wiped off because of choices we made. God keeps us from Psalm 91, the pestilence that walketh in day, nor the terror that fly by night. A lot of things. God is very merciful, and that's why over the next 10 years, may I suggest we love mercy. And so those that are hit with the housing situation, I appeal to all collective group, tribes, families, churches, whoever you are, that you have a heart and lay aside a small portion for those that are in the need of necessities, especially your disabled homeless. Most of them can't make the 3 times the amount unless they have the retirement and the 401ks. But they got injured on the job, working to make other people rich, and there was no safety net for them. Yeah, that's exploitation because you let the one that's part of your tribe, so-called, and our so-called corporations, and you let them down because now they need help. They helped you become trillion billionaires, the leaders of those countries. And yeah, they'll leave you out in the street. And when you injure yourself from work, yeah, good luck on that one. You may get a little money, but it won't be enough probably, depending on the situation, unless you halfway dead to be able to afford a place. In California and Nevada is getting like that as we speak, 2.5, 3 times the amount. And people on Social Security, they're getting done the worst. That's the reward of the oppressor that have not people in mind, but only the dollar. And we're in this all together while we still have the new strand moving through the country, still in a crisis. So learn from it. May I suggest you learn that when God gives us things, it is for us to deal with our necessities. It is not try to get over. If you've made a vow, if you signed a contract, you in it. Don't let people put you in debt, man, and make that vow and you can't pay it. You should pay the debt. This was contracted out if the money is there. And I'm speaking to that because that scapegoat represents ignorance. God does not want us ignorant of Satan's devices. He will put you out on the street. He will kill you with the wrong food if he could, or you kill yourself. You hear what I'm saying? You destroy yourself. People are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Now, people that did have to move, good luck on finding a place. You probably need a cosigner, and that's 5 to 6 times the amount of that rent. So I appeal to the collective groups and tribal and families. Find out and communicate. Be ready to distribute. You can put all $1 in the bucket and help your brother. Jeremiah 23 in the hood.